Hello all, this is David from Sunward Hobbies. Is this what I'm reviewing today? I guess it's fitting. I just came back from the bathroom where I did some dive bombing for myself. So, sure, why not? Let's unbox Italeri's new 1/48 scale SBD-3 Dauntless. Here is one of Italeri's newest releases. I'll just give you a brief history on the Dauntless before I open this up. It was one of the most important aircraft of the Pacific War, essentially the hero of Midway, sinking 4 Japanese carriers in one battle, affectionately nicknamed by its pilots Slow but Deadly. It was used almost entirely through that span from 1941 to about 44, when it eventually got replaced by the SB-2C Helldiver, which didn't turn out very well. And then essentially by that point, dive bombing had become obsolete. But yes, it served its purpose very well, and it is one of the most famous aircraft, not only of the Pacific War, but all of World War II in general. As I said, this is an Italeri kit, so you guessed it, it is a rebox. However, it is a rebox of the old Accurate Miniatures kit from the late 90s, which was a very good mold, so I am confident that this kit will be decent. So instructions we'll get to later. In fact, the kit was so well molded that it's not only been reboxed by Italeri, but also by Academy, Edward, and Revell. So this kit has been around the block, and it's nicely double bagged. Not too many sprues here. We'll just quickly take a look at them. First one here is the clear parts. The Dauntless, like many other dive and torpedo bombers, has a lot of framing to paint. But if you've seen my How to Mask Canopies video, that is no problem for you. Accurate Miniatures, for whatever reason, they liked to have their instrument panels be clear parts. I guess they figured that you could paint the backside either white or orange, and then you would fill in between the dials with black. But I mean, I don't do that. Maybe others do. So you do you. This next bag has got 3 sprues in it. You've got 2 different propellers to choose from, one with a more rounded tips and the other pointier ones, as well as parts for the engine. And here you've got the elevators, bombs, some radio equipment here, bomb racks, as well as one seat. Whoops. Yeah, one seat. And this part here is like structure for the dive brakes if you choose to have them down. And now we've got a sprue with the dive brakes, some landing gear legs, as well as some more equipment for inside the cockpit. And then on this one we've got tires, the cockpit floor, the Pratt & Whitney engine, as well as some machine guns and an arrestor hook. And as you can see, Accurate Miniatures, for their time, made some very nice detail work. I mean, even now it's still very good. One thing about Accurate Miniatures though, in my personal experience, the kits, they don't go together that easy, but they are accurate. I mean, if your brand's name is Accurate Miniatures, you better live up to that. And our last bag here, with 2 more sprues. You've got the wings, both halves. And this part here, the detail is very nice. It is missing rivets, so if you are a rivet counter, have fun with this. And last one here has got the fuselage halves, cowling halves, as well as some bulkheads, and that looks like the rear machine guns. Also, the tail wheel is molded into the fuselage. It's very tiny, so it would have been a little difficult to make that separate. But yes, Accurate Miniatures, still looking very good. So in the kit, you get 6 different marking options, which I will show you in a minute. Here's our instructions. Firstly, we've got the Decals sheet. You've got options for the older US roundel with the red dot in it, before they got really mad at Japan and wanted nothing to do with red dots. And then the newer one, plus of course you got all your stencils. You got seat belt decals, which I'm not a fan of. Alright, now onto the instructions. On the front page you get a color illustration of the box art, as well as a synopsis of the aircraft's history in several different languages. Okay, so as I can see, they have printed the instructions almost exactly like Accurate Miniatures did. Now, that's one other complaint about AM, was their instructions were at times hard to understand. Hopefully Italeri re-illustrated it in a way that's not quite as tricky. So everything, like always, starts in the cockpit. Cockpit requires several steps. Then the assembled cockpit floor looks like it first slots into the fuselage halves once they're joined together, and then sits in the bottom half of the wing. Then you put your top halves on, elevators, arrestor hook, the forward firing machine guns. Not too many US aircraft in the Second World War had the synchronized guns in the engine cowling. So this was one of the exceptions. Landing gear next. Then bomb assembly. And bombs are placed on the racks, on the forward sling. And then the dive brakes, you can position them open or closed, or even, okay, yeah, I see, either closed, bottom halves open, and bottom and top halves opened, as well as a few other additions in the cockpit, canopy, open or closed, of course, and propeller and radar antenna. So yeah, it looks like they did manage to simplify the instructions here. So now for your decal options, you've got two with the old US roundel, one from Wake Island and the Coral Sea. These were literally just before Midway when they switched over to the roundel without the red dot. So you've got two Midway schemes, one from the Yorktown and one from the Enterprise. And then you've got this one with the really ugly smeared paint roundel. And then you've got this late 1942 one with the yellow ring around the roundel, which they only used for a very short time. And basically all the color schemes are the same. A flat blue-gray on top and a light gold gray on the bottom. And there you go. In conclusion, Italeri has once again rebotched somebody else's work, but at least this time they picked a good one. This Accurate Miniatures mold, despite being nearly 30 years old, is still excellent. So yes, I would recommend this kit, even though I don't do that very often with Italeri. So you can pick one up for yourself at Sunward Hobbies, in-store or online. Thank you very much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and it would appear that the Akagi is still floating in the toilet sea, and I've still got some payload to deliver. So until the next one, adios.